Let's go through my books, guys. I'm hoping to get some more people on Substack, and we'll see what happens. Currently, I don't see anybody, but I'm not sure how this works. So I am a little bit distracted right now because I'm trying to see. Please, if anyone comes on over on Substack other than A.L. McDonald, let me know in the comments because I'd love to know if you're watching. Guys, this is my first novel. This is Cassius Canics. This is the novel that began my journey. This is a sci-fi novel. This is a slow burn that turns into a raging fire and then teases for more. Buckle up is what I always say. Every time I sign a book for someone that is this book, I say buckle up just to warn people. Yeah, I sort of have tried to adjust ever so slightly my book summaries. So let me know what you think. There's a couple of tiny little changes I made and tweaks I made. So this one, here we go. An ordinary man's life collapses after he is pursued by a powerful secret organization. The big question is, why him? He gradually comes to understand that he holds a mysterious, dormant power within. When an unimaginable tragedy strikes his family, he defies the fundamental laws of the universe and travels through time to restore things back to normal. With cutting-edge technology, supernatural animals, and even time travel, experience a seemingly simple man's journey to destiny and greatness. And we are reading chapter 21 from this live later on in the program. This is, for anyone on Substack, this is my show that I do weekly on TikTok that I am now bringing to you guys on Substack as well. So I hope you will come along for the ride. I know I'm going to have to adapt all of my social media posts to make this announcement change. So it's going to be a bit of a process, but we're going to get there. This is my second novel. This is book 2 of the Cassius Canics trilogy. This is a horror sci-fi. This book is a prequel to the first, and it ends where book 1 starts. Super cool character backstories will have you longing for more. Buckle up extra tight for this one. That's how I usually sign this book. I say buckle up extra tight. A routine fishing getaway for 5 close friends turns into a nightmare when an apocalyptic cult drags them into unspeakable evil and despair. Their only hope? A powerful time traveler racing against fate to pull them back from the brink. Okay, that's book 2. Next up, Equilibrium, book 3 of the Cassius Canics trilogy. We will be able to read from all of these books, I think, eventually, thanks to Substack. TikTok would not allow me to read much of these books. I would definitely get banned. So for anyone who's curious on TikTok, yeah, don't miss out. Head over to Substack, follow me there, subscribe to me there, because you're going to eventually see more there than you will here. It's just the nature of it and how it works. So that's cool. Okay, Equilibrium is a horror sci-fi novel. It's book 3 of the Cassius Canics trilogy. This book is a continuation of book 1 and ties in book 2's revelations for the finale. Will there be more to the story? Nothing can prepare you for Equilibrium. Brace yourself. That's what I say when someone buys this book at a book event and I sign it, usually I put brace yourself. Next up, we have The Muse. The Muse is an occult horror novel. The book is inspired by 80s slasher movies, Stephen King horror, and American Psycho. And a depressed writer turns to a life of solitude as a trucker. He calls out for help on a Ouija board in a bid for inspiration. His call for help is answered by an ancient evil that promises genius, but demands murder in return. As the body count climbs, only his twin sister can stop him before the muse claims them both. But is it already too late? All right. Yeah. It is super. It's got me super curious, guys, over on the Substack feed that's happening simultaneously here. We're on a simultaneous broadcast. Super cool for today's 21st episode of the show. I will be doing some rebranding of this show. It most likely will be renamed The Dream is True to line up with the name of the blog. So, yeah, that just only seems right. Because currently this is called MK Schultz's hashtag book talk night. That's really kind of TikTok specific. So, yeah, in order to make this work better, I'm going to be probably renaming this show to The Dream is True. There might be some other things happening too. The show might change in format. I might keep it going. I'm probably going to keep it going till I'm finished reading the entire first book. So we're on chapter 21 today, and we have 36 chapters in total. So yes, that I might continue until we reach that milestone. A depressed writer. Okay, we already went through that one. We're on to hard copy now. Okay, hard copy is a sci-fi alien invasion suspense thriller. This book is inspired by Gen X TV, 80s sci-fi, conspiracy theories, and modern AI. At a wild bush party in his teens, Ray Higgins was taken by aliens. Now in his 50s, separated and disappointed, he's assigned to mentor Tara, an AI robot. When the aliens return, Ray and Tara expose conspiracies, hidden horrors, and a lizard cult of deception in a gripping story of rediscovery and rebellion. Are you ready to question reality? All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see a lot of action over on Substack yet, so that's probably to be expected because, you know, given that it's my first Substack live, we'll see what happens. All right. So next it's review time. So I got a new review last week posted from a reader in Australia. And it was a 5-star review of hard copy. So I just wanted to thank James Wilton, and you can catch that review on Goodreads. It was on Amazon, on the Australian Amazon, but for some reason it's gone from there now. I don't know why, but it's still on Goodreads. So that's up. That was a 5-star review, so I was really thrilled to get that. Let's see, my book's in progress. Yeah, big news. I have submitted the manuscript to my upcoming vampire novel to ECW Press, and I'm happy to report that they have contacted me to let me know that their review of my manuscript is up next. I'm still waiting for that. That is really, yeah, it's getting hard to be patient, but you need to be patient when it comes to this sort of a thing. So my upcoming short story collection, update on that. So far, I have 44,104 words completed for this book. I finished writing story number 11, The Dog, and I'm currently 2,000 words into story number 13, which is called The Devil Comes to Town, and it's developing nicely. It's kind of cool. So yeah, I look forward to sharing this with you. It's a wild short story collection that will include horror and sci-fi stories. And my current plan is to initially release the short story collection on my blog on Substack for paid subscribers. And I may also do live readings for paid subscribers on Substack for this one. Yeah. So please, yeah, follow, forward me on both platforms. I mean, yeah, paid subscribers on Substack is really going to help me on my journey and support me in what I'm doing. As far as TikTok goes, I'm in Canada, so the only way you can really help me out and support me is through gifts. So let's start small. Like a rose, please, would be so much appreciated. I believe it's 1 penny, so I don't think it'll break the bank, but it'll do a lot to further me on my journey here and to help me live my dream and make, the dream is true. So next up, so we're into in-person book events. So my next book event is the All Things Bookish Market on this coming Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Walter Baker Park, 100 Charlie Rogers Place, Stittsville. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I can probably, I can share my screen on Substack to start kind of showing what's happening with these things. Let's see, how would I do that though? Oh yeah, it's a post, so it should work. So if I go screen one and share, yeah, so now I can show you guys, I can show you stuff on, if you're on Substack right now, you're going to see a bit more than you do on TikTok. So right now I'm showing an image of the All Things Bookish Walter Baker Park banner. So that is the banner, and sponsored by Pre-Loved Pages and Kindred and Mariam Designs and Evermore Books. This is an outdoor book event, so that's going to be kind of cool. And what else? Okay. And then, so if you do intend on going to the event, I'm going to show you right now how does this work? Okay. Yeah, so right here is where I am. I'm pointing to it on the map on Substack right now. I'm at booth number 41, and there it is on the map. So that's awesome. All right, next up is the Bookish Spotlight, guys. Okay, so Bookish Spotlight time. For this, I'll pop up the picture of today's Bookish Spotlight for you guys. Today's Bookish Spotlight is let's see. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. So today's Bookish Spotlight is Christopher Shorwick. All right. So there's his picture. And basically, Artemisia Press is what Chris works on. It's a horror-orientated zine and chapbook micro press run by Christopher Shorwick, who also serves as editor-in-chief. Tattoo artist Kelsey Shorwick provides illustrations and designed the press's logo. Atlas Martinelli has been known to provide editorial support from time to time. Originally a vehicle for Christopher's own creative journey. Hi, Marley. Thanks for the likes. I'm just at the Bookish Spotlight. I'm also on Substack, broadcasting live on Substack at the same time right now. So yeah, big changes are coming to the show. So that is news for today. So Substack is taken over here. Originally a vehicle for Christopher's own creative journey, the press has now expanded to support and platform independent horror authors in the Ottawa area and beyond through the short flash fiction journal Shattered Lanterns, which started circulation at the beginning of 2026. Our belief is that horror, especially literary horror, has a breadth and depth that still hasn't been recognized. We embrace the weird, the complex, the challenging, and the experimental, but we're also happy with a compelling ghost story or gory vignette. And we want to be a place that affords artists freedom to explore that range without judgment, so long as the execution is interesting. The press takes pride in both the quality of fiction it selects and the aesthetic and sensory experience of the physical zines themselves. Any features, whether it be the weight of the cover stock, the color of the paper, or the aesthetic quality of the font, is taken into consideration when printing anything for the press. Issues are bound in-house, and in the case of Shattered Lanterns, all issues are also hand-sewn. Everything Artemisia Press outputs is printed from a consumer-grade printer. This is a DIY press through and through, though long-term ambitions include acquiring improved printing and pressing equipment. The goal is to keep things in-house as much as possible for as long as possible. And on Substack, I'm just showing a picture of the zine hutch that Christopher sent me, which is super cool if you're on there checking that out. Shattered Lanterns issue 2 was released at the beginning of May and features the work of known independent horror authors local to Ottawa, including Stephanie Ann, Madison McSweeney, and Charlene Elsby. Copies are available on the web store at www.artemisiapress.ca. Thank you so much, guys, for the likes. One final thing on Christopher, my bookish spotlight. It's always fun to see fellow artist Christopher Shorwick at book events. I usually greet him with the flash of the devil's horns whenever I see him. I can't remember how this started, but it's kind of become a thing, and we have a lot of fun with it. And I see Christopher at a lot of book events, and always fun to run into Christopher Shorwick. So thanks so much, Christopher Shorwick, for being my bookish spotlight today. And without further ado, what happened? It felt like Anchorman there. It's like, let's try that again. What is this? I'm on the green screen. So, okay. Next, we are into the movies, TV, music, and books section of the program. All right, guys, this is a long section today. I've watched 3 movies this week that are on here. Let's get them going here. You know what I'm going to do is, okay, I know there's a delay, but I'm going to put this up anyways, I guess. Let's see. Recents. All right, a little bit of a delay cutting out here, but here we go. Riff Raff, guys. Riff Raff. First movie that we're talking about today briefly is Riff Raff. This was a great movie starring Jennifer Coolidge, Ed Harris, Bill Murray, Pete Davidson, Miles J. Harvey, Louis Pullman, Gabriel Union, and Emanuela Postaccini. Now, a former criminal's ordinary life is turned upside down when his old family shows up for a long-awaited reunion. My take, this is a well-written screenplay. It is a great example of show me, don't tell me storytelling. The acting was awesome. My favorite actors in this movie were Ed Harris and Bill Murray, and I also enjoyed Pete Davidson. He was very good in this as well. The movie is underrated in my opinion, and the fact that it was not even nominated for any major awards is quite surprising to me. So that's that one, guys. Next up, we have, where is it? Oh, Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. Next up, we have this movie called Remarkably Bright Creatures. This is a fantastic movie. It stars Sally Field, Louis Pullman, Colm Meaney, and Alfred Molina plays the voice of the octopus. So cool. 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb, and I think it's worth every bit of that rating. Through unlikely bonds formed during night shifts at a local aquarium, Tova, an elderly woman, learns of a life-changing discovery that may bring her joy and wonder once again. My take on this, guys. Oh, let me help you guys out. You know, over on Substack, we don't have this problem, but yeah. Over on Substack, I haven't been showing it enough, but let's see. I'll go back down. There's the, I'm fixing this up on Substack for a moment. And then we're going to go back to, okay, my take on this movie. If you are in the mood for a heartfelt tearjerker of a movie, look no further. I loved the octopus character, who was voiced by the same guy who played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. Coincidence? I think not. The legendary Sally Field's acting performance was nothing short of outstanding. Deserving of an Oscar, in my opinion, but for a feel-good time with a great story and twist. Do not miss this movie. I'm telling you, it will not disappoint. Super cool, super fun. And that is that. Okay, movie number 3. Okay, it was very special to me, guys. I gotta throw this one up on the screen. Movie number 3. All right, guys, you know how much of a fan of Iron Maiden I am, right? Everybody knows that. Everybody who's ever met me or known me knows I love Iron Maiden. This movie gets 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Spanning 5 decades, Iron Maiden, Burning Ambition, charts their iconic rise to become one of the biggest bands in music history. Okay, so here's my take, guys. This documentary was a limited cinematic release to theaters. I went to see it alone in the movie theater, since it was only playing for one day only in Ottawa. So there's that. I have pictures that I'm showing on Substack of myself doing selfies at the live, along with the title screen when the movie started. I wore an Iron Maiden T-shirt and sat in a room full of other Maiden fans, many of whom also wore Maiden attire. The atmosphere was great. The sound was amazing. Let's unpack this now. Listening to celebrity guests describe what makes Iron Maiden such a powerhouse of a band was really cool. Band members from Kiss, Metallica, Rage Against the Machine, Anthrax, and Public Enemy all voiced their great admiration for Maiden. Oscar-winning actor Javier Bardem played a significant role in the documentary. A self-proclaimed super fan of Maiden, he highlighted why the band is so great, all the while donning a Maiden shirt. It was so cool to see. Oscar-winning actor Javier Bardem is a major Iron Maiden fan. Really cool. The story of Iron Maiden is incredible. They became one of the biggest bands of all time, and they did it without getting radio play. So that's incredible. Oh no, I didn't read Sal. No, I know about his book about Def Leppard. Yeah, I could do that. I should read that to get some ideas about doing a book on Iron Maiden. I mean, yeah, I don't know what the copyright um, regulations are for that, but I could ask Saul because yeah, I messaged him tons already, and he's an amazingly knowledgeable journalist for real, for legit. So he would know all about the logistics of doing something like that because he did it, and that's super cool. So they did it on their own terms. I found it fascinating that even when they were starting out in the 1970s, they played their own material at live gigs and started growing a fan base immediately. Maiden's mascot, Eddie, was prominent in the documentary. The marketing for the band was declared to be nothing short of genius. The brains of the band are, and always was, its bass player, Steve Harris. It was his burning ambition that made the dream true. Super cool. When the powerful lead vocalist and polymath Bruce Dickinson joined the band, they became unstoppable. How are we doing on Substack? Not doing too well here, I don't think. Let's see. Dickinson is a qualified commercial airline captain, an international level fencer who was once ranked number 7 in Great Britain, an author of books, an award-winning beer entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, a humanitarian, and the lead singer of the greatest heavy metal band of all time, Iron Maiden. Dickinson famously piloted the band on 2 of their world tours in Iron Maiden's custom Boeing 757, known as Ed Force One. So yeah, that is how many band members were capable of doing that. I would challenge you on that one. That probably 0 would be the answer. Another cool part about this documentary was the Eddie scenes, the infamous album cover artwork that's on every single Iron Maiden album was brought to life for the documentary in an amazing form of CGI mini movies that freaking blew my mind. It was so awesome. Let's see, what else? Maiden's lyrics are a huge part of what draws me to them. In this documentary, Bruce and Steve talked about how other bands were writing songs about drinking, partying, and love, while Maiden's lyrics are intelligent stories that cover a vast range of topics, such as history, war, literature, mythology, horror, fear, religion, philosophy, mortality, science fiction, and existential themes. So yeah, that is my draw. That has always been my draw to Iron Maiden, is the intelligent lyrics. And it is just, there's no other band that I know that's like this. I think there might be other bands that have lyrics that are similar to this, but yeah, overall the documentary was such a cool experience, and I cannot wait to watch it at home again when it comes out. So yeah, that's it for that, guys. Over on this, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go back to so that people can see me on Substack. All right, how are we doing for time? We're doing okay. We're doing okay. As far as TV goes, I did finish. I'm not going to show the image. I've been showing it every week. I did finish Resident Alien, and I found out there was talk of a season 5, but then I found out it did get canceled after season 4. So that's it for the show. But I got to enjoy 4 amazing seasons, and it was such a fun show. I highly recommend Resident Alien. So that's saying goodbye to that segment. No, the ending could have been better because I think I'm not sure if they knew Well, I guess it was. No, I shouldn't say that. There was closure. So they must have known they were already being canceled because it, but then at the same time, I'm not 100% sure because it kind of could have left stuff open to continue a season 5. So it's actually interesting. I'm wondering if they knew or not when they did the final episode of season 4. But it wasn't a complete cutoff. It felt like there was some decent closure. Like they did it. He did achieve a final thing. So I guess that's, no spoiler, but I mean, overall the show is amazing. And I mean, it's so fun. It brought me so much joy that I just can't tell you enough about how fun that show is. Let's see what else. Yeah, we're on to. So yeah, the book that I'm currently reading is called Vampire Follies. It's a quirky vampire short story collection of 15 short stories by Matt Shelding. When I finish that book, I'll post it on my blog, my review. But other than that, how are we doing on Substack? I'm not seeing any. Yeah, no. So far, it looks like Substack is not bringing me in any viewers. Okay, well, we'll have to get going on the social media announcements. I didn't announce it to anybody on Substack, so this is a surprise for them if they're seeing in their inboxes or notifications that MK Schultz is currently live. It might not. It wasn't something they were expecting. Let's put it that way. So let's get into my book sales and my writer's tip and my quirk. So far I have sold 66 books in 2026. Thank you all so much. Here are some of my recent baby step mini goal achievements. I got my first paid subscriber on Substack. Thank you to the incredible A.L. McDonald, who has been an incredible part of my journey. Like from the very beginning, he was there before I knew what was happening in my writing journey. But there was always something special and an amazing friendship that just took place and just really, just amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Yeah. A.L. McDonald. Yeah, he is the man. So yeah, and I got my 41st subscriber now on Substack. So despite that, we don't have any viewers tuning in other than A.L. McDonald. My novel hard copy is now available at the Ottawa Public Library. That's another cool thing. And I've said it before. I've now sold books in 8 countries. That's very cool. I put a map on my blog of all of the countries that I've sold books in. So far I've sold 821 books since I have published my first book in 2019. And I have now reached 14,144 Kindle edition normalized pages read. Thank you, KU. And let's see, writer's tip. Okay, so I'm just reading my writer's tip. It's not really a tip. It's more of just me kind of talking about a certain aspect of my writing journey. So today's tip pertains to blogs. Prior to Substack, I used to publish my blog, The Dream is True, on Google Blogger. I only published a handful of times a year then. This is my 7th week of consistency with this new blog project of mine on Substack. And now I'm starting with a live today for the first time as well on Substack. So far, I am enjoying the challenge of fitting this into my schedule on a regular basis. Because of it, I am writing more than ever. I think this is a great way to not only document the progress in my dream, but also to increase my writing output. The more I write, the more I realize how much I love doing it. There are of course, ups and downs in how motivated I feel. I think this blog helps to remind myself why I'm doing this in the first place. I have read multiple times that a writer should have a newsletter or blog. Now that I'm doing it, I think I understand why it is so highly recommended for writers to do. So that is on that front. I got a funny, quirky story now. In case someone pops in, I'm going to show my screen again. How does window work? Window works how? What does this do? Oh, it gives me that thing again. Yeah, no. Okay. Stop. It gives me the infinite. Stop sharing. Okay. Share screen. Okay, I'm just trying something out here. Window. Okay, Substack home. Editing. Okay, yeah, the copy. What does this do? Let's see. Ah. Okay, I'm not sure how that works, but let's see. Stop sharing. Share. Bear with me 1 second. I'm setting something up here for the Chrome tab. Okay. Oh, Chrome tab. Eh? No, you can't do that. Share. And then entire screen. Eh? Oh, Chrome tab. Oh, what does this do? Okay, we're trying something new here. Okay. Oh, it's kind of unusual looking there. Eh? Okay. It's the same sort of thing, I think. Not sure if it does anything different. Okay. Well, anyways. Oh, hi, Nadine. Hey, thanks for coming on. You're just on time for a my writer's quirky writer's story. So, okay, I'm about to put an image up. I don't like how this image thing works on here, but I'm going to put one up right now anyways. No, not backgrounds. Effects. Okay, and then I got to get my image up. So let's see, where is it? Well, I'll show this one first. Okay, we got this one first. Okay, let's just show that up there first, and then I have a second image. Okay, this is a quirky story, a writer's quirky story. Okay, when I finished writing the manuscript for my horror novel, The Muse, a bird flew right into my window. After this happened, I went to the store to buy myself a reward snack for completing the manuscript. Along the way, I stopped at someone's driveway to see what it was that they were throwing out. There was a small table with a single cupboard, drawer, and granite top. When I lifted the table to put it into my trunk, the top fell off and fell to the ground, and it broke into 3 pieces. I always take note when I see the number 3 popping up in my life. I left the pieces there and still decided to take the topless table home, not knowing what I could use it for. The other item was a mysterious mythological carving. And I'll show you that one now. It's here. Oh, I could just do that. Well, that's different. Okay, I just learned something on TikTok after 21 episodes. That's cool. Okay, the other item was a mysterious mythological carving. When I got home with the table, okay, so when I got home with the table, which is this guy, 1 second here. Okay, when I got home with the table, I set it in my office and decided to place the Ouija board I had purchased as a prop for my new horror novel on it. Much to my surprise, the Ouija board fit perfectly as a replacement for the granite top that broke into 3 pieces. So as you can see, like it fits the tabletop unbelievably perfect with a little rim all the way around it. It's the exact size needed. It's phenomenal. And that kind of freaked me out. It blew my mind. But then there's this guy. As for the carving, I restored it to its original purpose by installing a red jewel stone that illuminates a dark room when a tea light candle is lit from within the cradle within it. And that's this. I had to restore it and put this red jewel in it. So the crazy part is even more so, the carved images were, of course, in triplicate as well. All of the images carved into this are in triplicate. I was also astounded when I learned that the figures of the women carved into it are actually muses when I did research. This became another form of inspiration for my writing. One of the short stories I am working on is all about this carving, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So all of that happened right after I typed the end when I was writing my horror novel, The Muse. And it's just, I mean, freaky things do happen to me like this, and have especially my whole writing journey. During the Cassius Canics trilogy, let me tell you, I have tons of strange stories that happened to me during the writing of that. Okay, so on to the next topic. That's it for my writer's quirk. Food and health. Okay, yeah. On my blog, I just went through some stuff in there. I'm probably going to skip it for here. And the same thing goes, my food. Yeah, so it's all in my blog on Substack if you want to take a look. But I just wanted to chat, so once again, because I'm getting over to Substack with the live happening there as well simultaneously, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out the format for this show. It's going to change, but what I might do is keep it the same until I finish reading Cassius Canics, so that there's 36 chapters. We're already going to be getting to chapter 21 tonight. Right now, actually, is my live reading. The thing is, on this live reading, there is a couple of words that would get me banned by TikTok, from what I have been told. So I am wondering what I'm going to do now. Nobody is over on Substack right now. So what I will do is I'm going to proceed with the reading on TikTok and Substack, but I'm going to go beep whenever I get to the word that I know, the words that I know that I'm not allowed to say, and it only happens a couple of times in this chapter. I'm going to, instead of saying them, I'm going to say beep, because apparently if I say these words on TikTok, they will ban me. Okay. So we went through the highlights of we went through the highlights of chapter 20 at the beginning of the live, but we're getting closer, guys. We are definitely approaching, I'd say, the 2/3 portion of the story. We're soon going to see the wild ride that you're going to be on with Cassius Canics. But without further ado, let's get started. Chapter 21, Prep. Early the next morning, Cass got up and made breakfast for all. Waiting hand on foot on them, he one by one saw them all off to school. Now, with the house empty, he started to set up his task for the day. Workshop, he thought. and he made his way down, activated the hatch, and made his way down into the pod. And when he says workshop, that's paying homage to Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead, because that's actually what he says in Evil Dead. I don't have to beep. I could try to change the word, but I don't know. I might just beep or I might change the word. But I know that I can't say these words in TikTok because the algorithm flags them and bans them. That's one of the things I love about Substack is that they don't do that there, and I have complete freedom. So yeah. The nice little lobby prior to entering the vault would serve well as a great area to focus on the task at hand, he thought. In the lobby was a small desk that was very solidly constructed and coupled with a dandy office chair on wheels. The lighting was perfect and the silence was noticeable, like how it must feel to enter a submarine and plummet deep down into the ocean. He began setting up as instructed. First, the handheld device, a miniature screwdriver set, and the phone with the link to the instructions on screen. Steps. 1. Hold the device with the back facing you with the wording upside down. 2. Locate the 2 screws on the left-hand side of the unit. 3. With the smallest standard miniature screwdriver in the set, unscrew these 2 screws, a total of 10 finger rolls each. You do not want to remove the screws, but only loosen them. 4. Gently insert the same screwdriver into the middle of the side between the 2 screws. This will produce a small hairline gap into which a small paper-thin chip is to be dropped in. 5. The chip you are to drop into the gap can be found in a small envelope in your safe deposit box. 6. Once the chip is inserted, tighten the screws back up and place on the table. 7. This entire process must be done within a 30-second time frame. 8. Practice the process until it can be successfully completed 3 consecutive times. So, this device is actually a DS. It's a Nintendo DS system, and my kids actually had it, an old one. And I got the idea to use it in the book as the device that the organization tasked Cassius Canix to use. And it explains why this device is used later. But I did actually practice taking it apart. And these steps actually coincide with if you were actually to take apart an old Nintendo DS system, which is a handheld gaming device. So there's some bit of behind the scenes there, author commentary that I always find fun doing. Okay, he thought as he made his way to the vault. Opening his safe deposit box, he found 2 small brown envelopes, one of which was what looked like a microchip, much smaller than a postage stamp. That envelope was labeled OPC 1279. And I'll tell you the meaning of that in a minute. Opening it revealed the chip. It didn't look like anything Cass had ever seen before. It was leaf-like and green in color. And when he handled it, the color would change upon contact with his fingers, and then it would change back. The second envelope was labeled practice chips. There were plenty of them, all the same size as the OPC 1279. Back at the desk, Cass set up a countdown time of 30 seconds and got ready to give it his first shot. Retrieving one of the practice chips, he placed it on the desk in preparation for his first attempt. Click. 30, 29, 28. He began the unscrewing process. 27, 26, 25, 24. On to screw number 2. 23, 22, 21, 20. Screwdriver inserted, chip inserted. 19, 18, 17, 16. Screw tightening process. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Complete. 10 seconds to spare. I love that scene. I know it's maybe not the most exciting scene to a lot of people, but I really enjoyed that scene. 3 more attempts produced identical results. Well, guess that does it, he thought. Then a notification appeared once again on his phone. Okay, so this is a long notification of a transmission from the organization. I will read this as ominous as I can for effect. So here we go. We're coming to the words that are not to be said in TikTok. Well done. No, sorry. Let's start at the beginning. Sorry. Transmission. Well done, Cassius Canix. I do look forward to meeting you in person next week. My name is Mr. O. You are now ready for the final instructions of this day task, which will be your last. After next week, changes will be implemented with respect to your involvement in the organization. The practice chips can be discarded as you will no longer need them. Just checking to see what's going on. Okay. You should know that the main chip is an organic probe chip. So that's what the OPC stands for, organic probe chip. And the 1279 part of the code, that is actually an address that belongs to the author. Which when dropped into an electronic device will locate and latch onto the communications component of the device in order to create a door for us to enter. And it's important to know that the old Nintendo DS device that I was using for the research on this is capable of connecting to the internet through Wi-Fi. So it's totally kind of realistic in that sense. You should also know that the reason you have had to locate the particular device that you now have in your possession is that this device is the exact model device currently owned and used by someone that we need to infiltrate. It belongs to a child who is a student in your wife's classroom. What you will need to do is volunteer in your wife's classroom, and somehow you must gain possession of the device owned by the child. The child's name is Connor Modes. Connor Modes is in the fishing trip as well, but he's in equilibrium quite a bit. So that's a little bit of insight into the Cassius Canix trilogy. This child is innocent and has done nothing wrong. His father, however, well, that is the matter we will rectify. It has come to our attention that his father is something bad that is operating an underground business of the something bad of children. He is and has been getting away with this for several years now at the cost of many something lives. because I don't think I better say that either. He is very clever and will never be caught due to the complexity of his operation and the great chasm he has thus far successfully created between himself and the business. All except for the money, which is how we have managed to pinpoint him and his location. We have two ways we can ruin this man. We can either use the vast resources of the organization, or we can bring his deeds into the light and simply let the law take care of him. In this particular case, we believe the latter will be more effective and embarrassing for him, as the public will be made aware of who he really is, and then he can be brought to justice. If justice is not served, we will simply take care of it then. For this mission to succeed, you will first have to convince your wife to allow you to volunteer at the school. We recommend you arrange for Marcus to also be a part of this as your second-hand man to complete the mission. Good luck, Cassius Canix, and I do look forward to meeting you in person next week. Mr. O. End transmission. So that's our biggest step into getting a glimpse of the organization thus far. Cass knew that he needed to act fast. He had to somehow get this all set up to happen this week before his trip to the organization. He dialed Rock. Hello, Cass. What's up, bud? Hey, Rock. I have to get Marcus to help me out with a day task. Can you give me his number? Yeah, sure, Cass. You are on your way up now, eh? Even going on the trip next week, I hear. Yeah, Rock. It's all happening so fast. I don't know how to cope with it sometimes, you know? And then, in an incredibly serious tone, Rock began. Fuck that, Cass. What did I tell you already before? Okay, Cass, listen up and listen carefully. Everyone needs a job. Everyone needs a way to make money to provide for themselves and, in many cases, a family as well. Oh, shit, yeah, a fellow could up and win the lottery and never have to work. But then what would he do? With no challenge or excitement or purpose or fulfillment, a man will inevitably self-destruct. You, Cassius Canix, need a purpose. You, Cassius Canix, need to be challenged and rewarded and fulfilled. This has not been happening for the entire duration of your life so far. You are making this happen, Cass. It is what you always wanted. It is what you always longed for. You have already made the leap of faith to escape the old life you had in order to make way for the new. Well, Cass, the new is upon you. And you need to grab it by the fucking balls and ride it all the way. You are the man, Cass. You will soon see. It is your destiny. And then Rock spoke in a voice that Cass never heard a wink of in the past. It was very ominous in tone and also quite mysterious as he spoke these words. We didn't find you, Cass. You found us. You are fucking gulp. Fucking Cassius Canix. Okay, I tried my best there, guys, to do put on a good show for you on that one. Had to turn up the drama on that a little bit, because yeah, that chapter super psychs me up, because that is literally very parallel universe-esque. Let's put it that way. Super thrilling. I get chills reading that, and it's kind of fun. I get to read it how I totally intended to. I know I love my narrator, Skylar Morgan, but I don't think he quite put the degree of oomph that I wanted him to put into his reading of that, but he still did a bang up job. So I won't knock him too much. That's for sure. So guys, yeah, we are over time now, but that was awesome. And I don't know. Yeah, just so AL, like, I don't know, the Substack thing that unless I'm mistaken, I think the Substack had you on it and you on it alone the whole time. So I'll have to figure out what happens there. I can post this whole video on Substack. And apparently when I do that post, it opens up the analytics that I can see the statistics of if anything happened as far as viewers go on this. So I'll know then for sure. But as of right now, it doesn't look like there has been any activity on here other than AL McDonald. So we'll try to see. I'm going to post this whole thing. I might edit it first, but I'm going to post it all on Substack. The whole hour and 3 minutes from when I started Substack is what I will try to do. So anyways, yeah, guys, as an indie author, it is my dream to write full-time. Currently, I am living this dream. In order to sustain this dream, I depend on your support. Here are some great ways to support my writing journey so that I can continue to publish more books. Please buy my ebooks, softcover books, and audiobooks online or at live in-person events. And my link is in the comments, and it's on Substack as well. And you can also find it on my website. And yeah, please support me that way. Please also providing gifts on, if you gift me on TikTok, that's another way. Signing up for a paid subscription on Substack is another way. And posting book reviews on Goodreads and Amazon really helps. Support me on Ko-fi. It's another way that you can tip me by buying me a coffee. And there's a link there in the comments for that as well. My pinned link is just my link tree that has all my links. So that's why I say that. Please, most importantly, support me on Substack through a paid subscription. And that is where you're going to see some content that will not be available anywhere else except to paid subscribers of Substack. And that's coming in the near future. That will be rolled out over the next coming weeks and months. And it's going to take a while to get there. But yes, Substack is what I'm aiming for, getting the paid content on. To give people something, that they want more of and are willing to support me by getting it, I guess, is the main comment on that. Support me on social media by liking, commenting, and sharing. I am most active on Instagram, TikTok, Substack, and X, and my links are in the comments. And that's about all for this live. And all I'll say now, in closing, I recite the phrase that I heard first on a song by Iron Maiden called Dream of Mirrors. It is a phrase that inspires me, and I want to share it with all of you. If you have a dream, don't say, I hope my dream comes true one day. Instead, say this out loud every single day. The dream is true. The dream is true. Awesome. Right on, guys. Thank you, AL McDonald. Thank you, everyone else, for joining me, and I'll see you next week. And stay tuned for social media updates on the status of my Substack switchover and all the things that I'm going to be providing on that platform. So the dream is true. Thanks so much, and we'll see you guys later. I'll sign off. And I'm going to sign off Substack second. And here we go. Thanks, guys.